can't kill me. I'm part of you now.
Your words will disappear. Your house will disappear. Your name will disappear. All memory of you will disappear.
The most dangerous person in any room is not the one with the weapon. It's the one who has already decided exactly how you die, and is calm enough to watch. That is Sansa Stark in the Winterfell Kennels. And what happens in that scene is not justice. It's not revenge. It's an exorcism. And by the end of it, the girl who left Winterfell dreaming of princes is gone forever, replaced by something the North has never seen before. But here's what most people miss about this scene. It's not about Ramsay dying. Ramsay was always going to die. The battle was lost. The Bolton banners were burning. His death was a certainty from the moment the Knights of the Vale crested that hill. The scene is about who Sansa chooses to become in the exact moment she no longer has to survive. That is a completely different question, and the answer should disturb you. Rewind to the War Council, the night before the battle. Sansa tells Jon exactly how Ramsay operates. She doesn't speak in generalities. She speaks with the surgical precision of someone who has memorized the architecture of her abuser's cruelty, because her survival depended on it. Jon doesn't listen. He charges headlong into Ramsay's trap the moment Rickon falls. Thousands nearly die because Jon fought with his heart. Sansa had already warned him. She'd mapped the monster. She knew the trap before it was set. And this is the reframe most people miss entirely. The Battle of the Bastards was not won by Jon Snow. It was won by Sansa Stark. She secured the Knights of the Vale. She predicted Ramsay's manipulation. Jon nearly lost everything by ignoring her. The battle belongs to her. But the Kennels? The Kennels are something else entirely. Watch the moment Jon stops punching Ramsay's face into the mud. His fists are bloody. Ramsay is barely conscious. Jon could finish it right there, the way Ned Stark would have. Clean, swift, honorable. But Jon looks up. He sees Sansa watching, and he stops. Not because he's tired, because he understands, in that single look, that this kill does not belong to him. That silent exchange is one of the most underrated moments in the entire series. Jon Snow, raised on Ned Stark's code, the man who swings the sword passes the sentence, deliberately surrenders judgment to someone who will not swing a sword at all. He surrenders it to someone who will do something far worse. He passes the sentence to the victim. If that just reframed what you thought that courtyard scene was about, that's exactly the moment people hit like. Not because I asked, but because something shifted. Hi, I'm Nick. You're watching Cynic Cults, and we're just getting started. Now, the Kennels. Most people remember the hounds. Most people remember the blood. But the real violence in this scene is in the dialogue, and it's Sansa who draws first blood. Listen to the way Ramsay says her name. He's tied to a chair. His face is pulp, and he still opens with,
Hello, Sansa.
like they're having tea, like this is a marital visit. That greeting is not casual, it's a power move. He's reminding her, I am still your husband. You are still mine. I refuse to acknowledge that anything has changed. That is textbook narcissistic control. Even in chains, the abuser reaches for the leash. But what if I told you Sansa doesn't just resist that move, she dismantles his entire psychology in 4 sentences? That is not a threat. That is an ancient Roman punishment called Damnatio Memoriae, the condemnation of memory. The total erasure of a person from history. Statues smashed, names chiseled off monuments, bloodlines extinguished from the record. For a man like Ramsay, a bastard who clawed his way to legitimacy, who murdered his own father, his stepmother, and his infant brother to secure the Bolton name, there is no crueler sentence than this. She's not killing him. She's unmaking him. Telling him that everything he bled for, every horror he committed to build his dynasty, will amount to nothing. Not even a footnote. And then Ramsay plays his final card. He genuinely believes this. Watch Ewan Rheon's face in this moment. There's no performance. No bluff. Ramsay has built his entire identity on the idea that cruelty equals loyalty. He beat those dogs. He starved those dogs. He fed them human flesh. And in his mind, that makes them his. Sansa's response is 4 words, and they are devastating.
They're loyal beasts.
They were. Now they're starving.
She tells him exactly what he already knows but has repressed. He starved his hounds for 7 days.
My dogs are desperate to meet you. I haven't fed them for 7 days. They're ravenous. I wonder which parts they'll try first.
He announced it himself before the battle, bragging to Jon Snow about the carnage they'd unleash. He weaponized their hunger. And here's the detail that elevates this from revenge to poetry. Sansa wasn't on that battlefield. She never heard Ramsay say those words, which means she asked. She gathered intelligence. She found out exactly how long the dogs had been starving, and she chose that as the method. Now, the moment that changes everything. And it's not what most people think. Watch the first hound approach. It steps forward, sniffs the air, leans in, and licks the blood from Ramsay's jaw. Ramsay commands it.
Stop!
Look at his face. Watch the exact frame where his voice cracks. That tremor, that microfracture, is the precise second his entire worldview collapses. Because the dog doesn't sit. The dog doesn't obey. The dog is hungry. And hunger is a master older than Ramsay Bolton. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs weaponized in real time. The dog's most basic physiological drive, the need to eat, overrides every conditioned behavior Ramsay ever installed. Fear, obedience, loyalty. None of it matters when a creature hasn't eaten in 7 days. He didn't train loyal beasts. He built a ticking clock, and Sansa let it run out. There's an ancient Greek myth that mirrors this scene almost perfectly. The Myth of Actaeon, a legendary hunter, the best in the land, who transgresses against a goddess. As punishment, she transforms him into a stag, and his own prized hounds, the dogs he raised and named and trained, tear him apart. They don't recognize their master anymore. They only recognize prey. Ramsay Bolton, the self-proclaimed greatest hunter in the North, a man who literally hunted women through the forest for sport, destroyed by his own hounds. The hunter becomes the hunted. Whether the writers intended this parallel or not, it vibrates on a mythological frequency that audiences feel in their bones, even if they can't name it. That is why this death feels ancient, because it is. But the true masterpiece of this scene isn't the hounds. It isn't even the dialogue. It's one shot. Director Miguel Sapochnik called it his favorite shot of the entire season, and most people blink through it. As the dogs begin tearing into Ramsay, Sansa turns to leave. Her body begins to move away. A human instinct, the civilized, gentle part of her that still exists, pulling her from the horror. And then she stops. She leans back in. She forces herself to watch. That hesitation, that half second where the old Sansa almost wins, is the most important frame in 6 seasons of her arc. Because she overrides it. She kills the instinct to look away. She chooses to watch the monster die. Not because she enjoys it, but because she needs to witness the proof that he is mortal, that he can be unmade, that the nightmare has a body, and that body can be destroyed. When she finally turns and walks away, there's a smile, barely there, a millimeter of movement at the corner of her mouth. That smile is the death certificate of the girl who left Winterfell. Ramsay's last words were,
I'm part of you now.
And the audience panicked. Theories exploded. Pregnancy, a secret plot twist, some final horror the show was hiding. But actor Ewan Rheon confirmed what the writers intended. It was never literal. Ramsay wasn't talking about a child. He was talking about a scar. The psychological branding of abuse. The same thing he did to Theon, broke his identity and rebuilt it as Reek. His final move was to tell Sansa, "You will never be free of me. I live in your nightmares now. I shaped the way you see the world." And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. He was right. Look at the Sansa who walks out of those kennels. She is not Ned Stark's daughter anymore. Ned would have given Ramsay a trial. Ned would have swung the sword himself. Sansa feeds him to dogs in the dark and smiles. She has become Cersei's true heir, Littlefinger's best student, Ramsay's final creation. She survived. But survival has a price. And the price is that the person who survives is never the person who walked in. That is what Ramsay meant. And that is the tragedy hiding inside the triumph. The sound designers hid something in the audio mix that most viewers never consciously register. As Sansa walks away, underneath the muffled screams, there's the sound of a squealing pig. Director Sapochnik confirmed this was deliberate. It's the anatomically accurate sound of a human windpipe being ripped open while the victim is still alive. You don't hear it clearly, you feel it. Your body reacts before your brain can process what the sound is. And that visceral, subconscious horror layered beneath a shot of a woman calmly walking away, is what separates this scene from every other villain death in television history. The camera doesn't show you the gore. The VFX team originally built a full CG jaw ripping apart. The showrunners cut it. Because what you imagine is always worse than what they could show you. They put the horror in the sound, and they put the story in her face. Here's my question for you, and I want a real answer in the comments. Sansa had a choice. She could have executed Ramsay the way her father would have. Publicly, swiftly, honorably. She chose the dogs. She chose suffering. She chose darkness. Was that the moment Sansa became the most dangerous person in the North? Or the moment Ramsay proved he'd already won? Drop your answer below. I've been reading every single comment on this channel, and the answers to this kind of question are always better than anything I could write. This is the part where most channels beg you to subscribe. I'm not going to do that. But if this video made you see Sansa differently, not as a victim, not as a hero, but as something more honest than both, then you already think like we do here. We're building an empire of people who watch a scene once for the story and 10 times for the truth. And if you're still here, you're already one of us. You know what to do. Ramsay thought he broke Sansa. So did Cersei. So did Littlefinger. So did Joffrey. Every single one of them thought they were destroying her. None of them realized they were building the most dangerous player in Westeros. How Sansa's abusers accidentally forged the mind that outplayed them all. That video is right here. See you there. Until then, stay cult.